during the time he was president.
When he's president.
I think it's kind of outrageous to close it off.
Yeah,
I think they should
I'm pretty
paint
sure
a big
they don't
bullseye
anymore.
on his house, actually.
Yeah.
So, anyway, this radio is so great. I can listen into the ATIS. I can listen in, if I have any reason to, listen into approaches or departures. It's got my clock on it. It's got my got the frequency that all the hang glider pilots are on.
What's the
got business band.
What's the limits of it?
It's about 143 or 144 megahertz up to in transmit up to 170 or
So
maybe 160.
You can't transmit on airbands.
Aircraft,
so.
no.
Yeah. See, I was going to buy one that you can.
But it receives down to, I don't know, the high 90s and up to the 170s or so.
Yeah.
It's really handy.
Yeah, I think I'm
I was reading the manual, just learning more things about it. So, we'll take another run. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to sense the glider lifting. You want to recognize that angle of attack and airspeed are the variables that determine how much it lifts. Your goal is to start running, make it lift, and then it's paramount that you keep it in a lifting state. It's absolutely paramount. If it ever starts to descend, you're in grave danger. So that's why I emphasize that you can either raise the angle of attack or run faster, and I'd recommend sticking with raising the angle of attack. So if you ever feel a glider lifting and then suddenly it starts to drop, push out. Okay, that's a relative to just what we're doing here. So your goal is to keep the glider lifting. Now, if you can keep it lifting, then it will respond to where your weight is. So if you feel a glider rolling off to the left, pull down, and that adds weight to the right side. Once you get the harness on, and assuming the glider is lifting upward against your harness, then you can just go like this to get your weight to the right. But if your glider is not lifting upward against your harness, or if you don't have a harness on, then the only way to add weight is to pull down on the right side, and that only works if the glider is in a lifting state. If the glider is descending, I mean, it's never more than just, a couple feet off the ground. So if the glider is descending and then you pull down, all you do is hasten its impact into the ground. So your first requisite is to keep it lifting, and the second one is to add weight on whichever side is necessary to keep it level. Okay. When you want to stop at the end, stop running. That means stop moving your legs, push up, and lean back, almost like you're trying to fall over backwards.
Okay. Stall it.
Yeah, you don't have very good leverage without your harness hanging, without your weight hanging on the control bar. So you really can't easily pitch it up. Once you get the harness on, you just go like that with your weight hanging on it, and it pitches right up. Let's take a run, and then we'll come back and we'll watch it. Try and slide that pad up to the point where it's actually hooked up over the bulkhead. You can kind of twist it up or pull it up over the bulkhead. Okay? Okay, so tip it forward to make your life a little easier. Hi, Leanne.
Hello, Ken.
I put a set of instructions for your Vario on the dash of, what is this, Poison Oak Camaraderie. It's different than cutting and putting the blood together. Now you're like Poison Oak brothers.
That's right.
Brothers and sisters.
That's right, forever.
Mine's all dried up and gone away. Did you land in it too?
I kind of landed in the canyon.
Look at the ocean and run faster. Run
I
faster.
heard about that bit, so you got it on the way out.
Bar and run.
Oh, definitely.
Faster. Faster.
As I was looking down,
So what happened there? The glider started pitching up as you ran at one angle, and then it got higher and higher. Let's pick it up again. Closer to the bar. We'll make sure that we don't have the glider pitch up.
think it's
And keep
actually
running and
harder
don't
to
sit
get it
down.
that way. Like, but I think like there's more oil on the leaves than there is on the branches. But still, there's enough that obviously you can get it quite badly.
It's not enough to be relevant. Here goes. Yes.
So do you know if Annalise at the top?
Brakes up!
I think so, yeah.
Run! Run! Keep your
feet
feet
under you.
down! Okay? He says okay as his feet are up here, right? Feet down! Feet down! Stand up! Stand up! Brake! Back up! Back up! Back up! Step right! Step right!
He uses bullhorn. It sounds like he's mad when he yells.
So keep your feet down. If you sit down, you can
Is
end
Bonnie
up
up here
bouncing
too, do
your
you know?
butt off
No,
the
she's
ground
not.
and breaking your spine.
Yeah. I didn't even know her name.
Emily?
Anne-Marie. The only other girl who's flying.
Certain reflexes that everybody has.
Excuse
They
me.
have them in this. They have
You
them
can call
in
me a
this.
boy if I
Everybody
call you a
wants
girl.
to sit down.
Yes.
And in both of them, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. And it's not a matter of saying, oh,
So
the
I
instructor
ripped my
says
canopy.
don't sit down.
you?
I won't sit down because I'm an agreeable guy.
Back at Will's Wing.
How-
But
how
it's
much
not
of it
your
is it?
cognitive that
Um,
causes that.
Just
It's
like
a
that.
reflexive
Yeah, you know,
part
it's
Yeah,
really
of
weird.
your body
it's
that
not,
commands your legs, sit down.
It's only ripped
You
on
don't have any
two-
control over
exactly,
that
and it's
part of
still
the brain
connected
that's
at
gonna
both
tell you
ends,
that.
but I have a tear
Part of the
down
brain
both
that's
sides.
agreeable,
Oh,
that's
two
agreeing with me
parallel
right
lines.
now,
Yeah. And it's
happy
still
to
connected
follow
here.
instructions,
And it's right,
isn't
here's
who's in the
leading
driver's
edge
seat.
right
It's
here,
like
where
there's
the
two
netting is
drivers.
right there.
You ever see a
But I
little
called him and he said
baby
they're
car
probably
seat and they got a little steering wheel? Maybe the baby thinks he's driving. Well, that's where your cognitive is right now.
That's what
But
they
there's
said.
actually another real driver over in the driver's seat. And it takes a long time to learn to control that driver. It's easy to steer a little baby seat steering wheel. So that's the part that's agreeing with me right now. So let's take your harness.
It's natural just to pull your legs up then, huh?
Totally natural, and it's also
The
potentially the end of
weightlessness.
your walking life. And it's no small challenge. Look, he's got his tips in. That's a little technique we use to steepen the glide path and also to train for when turbulence closes to the tips. Yeah, after a certain point it ceases to be an issue. It doesn't matter. I mean, Barry can put his feet anywhere he wants. He's got the sense to have his feet down when he lands. But in the beginning, the reflex is always to pick the feet up. You've got to keep the feet down. You must not. It's more than a matter of just having the intention. It actually takes a tremendous attention to keeping your feet down. Otherwise, you can literally bounce your butt off the ground, or before you're about to hit the ground, you abruptly realize, oh gee, I better stand up, and you stand up sharply, the lines go slack, and your canopy collapses. Now you're running at full speed, nothing holding you, you can do a face plant. So
So keep your feet down. So
keep your feet down,
I
have
didn't,
them down.
I didn't so much sit back as lift them up, didn't I? You lifted them.
Right, so that the
I
hot,
lifted them up.
yeah, I mean, you did, it's
Same thing.
a fine point, yeah. I mean, you lift, in
Well,
fact,
because
if
it's
people
hang
are trying to
gliding,
get
I
into
lift
their
them up
seat,
with
what I
hang
tell them to do is bring your legs together, lift your knees up, and wiggle your butt. And the only thing you didn't do was wiggle your butt. So it produces the same effect. And the danger is twofold. You can land on your butt, or in your effort to avoid landing on your butt, you'll stand up sharply, make the lines go slack, the canopy will collapse, and you can have a major head face plant.
And then I had a little too much brake on it first.
I was just reminding you to keep
That
your
is
brakes
the
up.
Okay.
And
In the canyon walking?
so, if you want to go to the top, you're welcome to go to the top. But you have to really concentrate on that launch technique. You must. The pull-up went well, and I think that the only thing you really got to concentrate on at this point that I saw was keep your feet down and keep running.
It's a reflex habit from hang gliding when I lift my feet as soon as I take off.
No, it's a reflex even before hang gliding. You had it before hang gliding, and it isn't logical. It isn't based in some previous experience automatically. It's just there, and you just need to know that even with an intention, it isn't so easily resolved.
He had been, I think that he was,
Okay, Kevin.
Spring?
Pardon me?
Steve, I met you last spring. You were just very
Oh.
And I was up in the
Lugging this hang glider around and
canyon
watching
Sunday last Sunday.
paraglider around.
We were down in the canyon.
Oh, really?
How long did it take you to get out?
for him to turn,
Little over
DeRussy.
5 hours.
Can't do that with hang gliding.
Two big quarts of water.
I had a camelback
Do it,
which
but not too
carries quarts of water, and I was almost totally out. Yeah, it's amazing. I know, I am. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Long pants or anything.
I had long pants on. I didn't have a long sleeve shirt.
called Bonnie, and she had said she opened it.
Oh, so she said she did open it, huh?
That's affirmative. 12 to 5, though, so it's probably not on the ATIS yet.
Okay, just for future reference, we want to, I think as a general rule, we want to try and always request a window that is like, say, 10 to 6, unless it's like winter time and we know sun goes down at 5 or something, but we want to try and get close to sunset, or even just say till sunset and open it at the earliest possible time that anybody could possibly want to launch, and that way we got the whole window open. Otherwise, somebody's going to come along and hear that the request has already been made and end up launching just before it's on the ATIS, so we'll try and get a wider window in the future. That's a roger. Anyway, there's a lot of different techniques for remembering to hook in or confirming that you're hooked in. There is a procedure that we call the hook in, which you just did, and then another procedure we call the hang check, which is the hook in confirmation. And the hook in confirmation can be done a number of different ways. You can lay down, you can walk forward, you can squat, you can lift your glider up until the straps go tight. The best one, in my opinion, is just turn and look. Look at your carabiner, touch it, because touching kind of allows you to kind of go beyond any potential hallucination or whatever you want to call it. Like, have you ever seen something that wasn't there? You ever not seen something that was there? That for sure. And you've probably seen something that wasn't there, you know, just because you expected it to be there.
Right.
So you look at this enough times. Leanne, did you get the message that I put a set of instructions for the M22 on Anne Marie's dash?
See,
Thanks.
and I'm going to use Scott's canopy today. Unless,
Great.
I
That
mean-
should be interesting. Is the best way to ensure that you're hooked in. So, you ever do one thing and then think about another?
Yeah.
Just about all the time. So when you look at your carabiner and think about whether you're hooked in, make sure that you are indeed thinking about whether you're hooked in and what the carabiner looks like, and not looking at your carabiner and thinking about how the run's going to be, or wondering why I didn't shave this morning, or are we ever going to fly, or something. You know, the mind does that. It's the normal process. So when it happens, you know, just wait until you can get your mind to concentrate. Okay, and I'm looking at the carabiner. I'm hooked in. My legs are in the leg loops. Okay, and the best way to do the hang check is not more than 15 seconds before you initiate your launch run. So that means you're going to do it over and over and over and over again if you expect launch to be imminent. That is, if you're standing there ready to launch and 2 minutes goes by as you watch the conditions, you're probably going to do, 8 hang checks, right? Yeah, 8. All right, so take a look, make sure you're hooked in, and I'll ask you from time to time if you're hooked in, but I may not see you if you're not hooked in. You can be so sneaky as a student that I may not spot it. So don't assume that I'm going to catch you if you forget to hook in. Okay? So I see you're hooked in. So go ahead and pick it up as you've done before. Now this time, as you run, I may say out or in which case you can push the bar out an inch or pull it in an inch. Got it?
Okay, out or in, okay.
And if I say flare, push all the way out and up like this. And keep running. Never, ever stop running. Never, ever, ever stop running, even if you're sure you're airborne. Okay, bring your hands down. Hold on, bring your thumbs to the inside. Watch your head, Gary. Look steady, look at the ocean, and you can run. Run fast, pull in, run fast. Pull yourself to the left. Good, better. Lifting. Yeah, good. Keep running. Keep running. Pull yourself to the left. Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. Good. Keep running. Pull yourself to the left. Keep running. Keep running. Run faster. Yourself to the left. And flare hard. Flare hard. Look out. Look out. Yeah. Okay, good.
These numbers they use, is that meters of sail in that? Is that meters
With the Paris glider?
Yeah.
It's not in meters anymore. I don't remember how they do it. I think it's what it is the 23 is this amount of cells, or so you have a 121, which is the smallest, 123 or 125. So I guess all the cells are the same size and minus
Oh, cell
1.3.
size.
It's an amount of cells in it. So.
And it's based on your weight in that? Is that a big weight?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this glider is the average person. If you're over 200, I'm not sure what the exact weight limit is, somewhere around 200 or maybe 220 or something, you get into the bigger one.
So this is like a 121 or 123?
This is 123. And then the 121 is for people who are, I'm not sure what the weight is on that either.
This year, so.
It's like pretty light. Like you have to be down around 120. So.
So they pretty much the whole airfoil design is the same.
Yeah,
amount of,
yeah.
I mean, more of these triangles they put in there.
Right. Yeah, they're all, they make them in different, they make more advanced canopies which fly faster and may maneuver better, and they're also more prone to collapse in turbulent air, and so that's why they're advanced.
Do this, like when I see some people coming and then it's like they turn this way where the wind is like that way, does that ever start collapsing?
No, because there are things that will collapse the wing, but that isn't one of them, because when you're flying, you could be flying downwind, or say you're flying just exactly cross to the wind. Right. Your relative wind is still your forward speed. So you always have 18. Usually I think this flies around 15 to 18 miles per hour. So you always have that much air going into the front of it, no matter what direction you're flying.
So this is just, that's a minimum speed like for the shooting or what then. If you're up, you're going to be going at speed.
Yeah, I mean you have control. You can fly slower by flying with your brakes on. The maximum speed is somewhere around 15 to 18. So
there is ways you can collapse it though.
Yeah, well, mainly
Swing or something.
there are things such as that. Like if you if you're flying in thermals, the air gets really rough, and you've got some bunch of air going up here and some air coming down here, and you go from air that's going up to air that's going down. Your canopy can surge out in front of you, and if you know what you're doing, you can control that. And you should also know when not to fly in those kind of conditions.
All the airplanes have trouble with those downdrafts too.
Right. And you just have a lot more problems with it, isn't it?
Climbing Kilimanjaro or climbing Everest or something, but there's only a handful of people in the world that are destined to ever do that. And I think the beauty of flight is something that I'd like to see available for everyone, or for the widest possible group. And a lot of people can't afford airplanes, and a lot of people can't deal with the physical demands of hang gliding, but the simplicity of paragliding makes it available for people. I mean, it's just an issue of availability. I mean, it's great. Somebody your size and corresponding strength and reach and so on, you'd have no trouble in hang gliding. Some littler guys have a more difficult time. But it's still, even for the good sized guys like you, it's a more intimidating process, whereas paragliding is rarely intimidating.
I remember I went up to the top of whatever that is, above the climber there. One time I just by chance ended up there, on the little ramp and stuff, watching those guys run down that ramp, and a couple guys skimming their belly along the bushes and trees there, and all of a sudden one guy just showed up with the chute, took it out, just did like that, turned, at the same motion, jumped around, and then he just went straight up. And, wow,
Yeah.
That looked a lot simpler.
Pretty attractive.
Yeah.
There are people that have the time and the lifestyle to be able to pursue hang gliding and be real successful at it. But I don't have that much spare time. It might sound silly, but I'm like everybody else. I have to work and do my chores, and I just don't have time to play all the time. And, if you happen to have a lifestyle where all you have to do every day is play,
It's worked out that the other rod has become a faster rod.
I'd probably recommend hang gliding.
It's pretty close.
But if you only have a limited amount of time, I think paragliding is a better choice.
There's always a reason. But yeah, I think if the path is a couple minutes faster. I thought you were saying the other way was a couple minutes. As far as
It's always been
the two camps a little bit more cohesive.
the big controversy in
Not that there's anyone hanging out a Parma eliminator today.
going up to the mountains.
So the reason I like to do layouts, non-hand layouts, is
to even out the risk.
hey, Ken, real quick question for you. Is there any way I can, without disconnecting the harness, without stepping through lines, is there any way the lines can cross? I mean, realistically, you know.
Well, I'd rather work at it from a different perspective. You need to know how to definitively confirm that your lines are correct. If I was to answer that and say no, well, all it does is make you stop looking.
Okay.
Procedure whereby you can fold the outer 10 or 20% of each wingtip in, and you can use it as a means of steepening your glide path, or also to practice for a turbulence-induced closure. Okay, nose down here. You think you're level? Real important to have it level and balanced and still at the time you start to run. So if you think you're level, balanced, and still, step into a brisk run and keep a slight pulling in pressure. Good. Run fast. Pull in. Pull in. Pull in. Pull in. Stop. Stop. The nose is going up because you're not pulling in enough, and maybe even you're pushing out. Pick it up again, and this time don't let the nose go up.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel good.
So you gonna do a couple more? Should I sit up and do a couple? Are you about ready?
I'm gonna do some more. I'm gonna stay here until I feel totally confident.
Well, I think it's a great day. I really want to fly with you.
Okay.
Or the altitude. I don't care.
Okay.
You don't feel comfortable, you can ask for a flight altitude.
You know, TV. Really? Video game. See if we can do a flat spin. I want to be like Top Gun. Somebody's rotor. Yeah, an inverted flat spin upside down. Oh shit. I know. An inverted flat spin. That'd be terrible.
I saw a guy do one the other day on the air show.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just about, he got to invert it.
Trying a no riser. Watch. Yeah. It seems like it. If you just fold into it, get it out. Loses control. Right. It's like almost impossible.
Try it again without looking at about 5 break. Maybe without any break at all.
Without any break?
I don't think I was that bad.
Can't be done. I'll be dang. Another one that I can add to DeRussy's thing.
I think I'll
No
try one
riser
of those.
takeoff.
No problem.
Yeah, it can't be done. Now we got something else we can tell DeRussy. A no riser takeoff.
That wasn't hard enough to make me brag about it.
Really?
Okay, hold it real steady. Listen to my instructions and follow it. Everything is down.
Last year about this time. There's an LD down there, Scott.
I can duck, I can sit down or go down.
Get on the ground or roll out of the way or something.
That's an interesting way to shift your weight.
The guys do that?
I don't know. just the girls.
stopping in about 20 minutes to go over to watch Bob Anderson land his hang glider on his first mountain flight. So, so you know,
Okay.
about another 20 and we'll leave. Because no one can fly when I'm gone. There won't be anything here to film except maybe some lizards or snakes or something.
So my other question, if Bill was available for anybody to use. I guess not. He's got,
I think
got some through the school.
I think he would let like some of those people that are more advanced think it was if you have a hang 2, at least in hang gliding, waiting something paragliding. But then he allows you to come out here and fly. But generally, I think most people don't want to like once they're able to fly them out.
So keep your eyes on the horizon.
Except for maybe paragliding.
Be aware of whether your glider is rolling right or left as you run. Nose down a little. Nose down.
I should find out.
Steady.
They're going to go to the beach somewhere then? Is that what
Steady.
he said?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have a ride.
And you can run.
They're going to go to the
Run fast. Watch the
landing
horizon.
site. Practice off San Marcos Pass, actually. And, watch some person's first flight.
Down south that way.
A little bit
it's
north, about not very far, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Tiring, huh?
Oh, that's incredible. You know, when I was out here first learning, I could run up and down this hill 12 times a day. Once you start flying the mountains, you get really spoiled. And this hill just becomes torturous.
They got to install a lift or something.
Pardon me?
He's got to install a lift or some sort of thing to get you
right,
guys.
big ski lift or something, big gondola.
Yeah.
Probably so, have the... What kind of medium are you using there? Is it 8 millimeter? That's my canopy she's flying, and it's way too large for her.
Oh yeah.
That's why she's having so much trouble turning it. Is her body weight just isn't large enough.
Does she get a better glide out of that?
Well, that'd be debatable whether or not she gets a better glide. She gets a longer ride because she sinks a lot slower. But because she's so light, she doesn't penetrate all that well. So I don't know. I don't know what the glide would actually be.
So glide and sink are.
Well, the glide is how far out you can go for every foot you drop. So like this glider probably has like a, I don't know, 9-to-1 glide. And the paragliders probably have like a 3-to-1 glide. But the heavier you are, the better your glide to a point. And so being light on a canopy means you stay up a long time, but you don't penetrate forward.
But
A 40-something woman will be out here. Actually, she's 40. 40. So we'll have this range of women out here that you can videotape. So
Yeah.
make sure they're talking about taking their clothes off and running in their underwear to make sure that they get on TV. So I don't want to see that happen out here. It's a grisly thought. So make sure you get them on. Make sure you get them on
All you
video.
guys will be laying down here on your back unconscious.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them puppies rolling.
So what are you filming for?
if I can get the camera next to my eye here. KCTV Channel 19.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Neat.
Action sports.
Really?
I wasn't
Which
going to hit you that
disqualifies.
last time, really.
No, she was.
Oh.
So how did you come to find Ken? Or
Actually, I took hang gliding lessons a long time ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so I just thought, well, that's something that should be on here.
Yeah. That and you know what we've noticed so much more like in commercials and just clips from other like TV shows
Yeah.
are showing paragliding and hang gliding. It's
They have that really cool Swatch commercial.
which one was that?
Where,
Oh, I saw it.
yeah,
Hang
go
gliding or
paragliding runs off a rock cliff kind of thing, and
Oh,
they get amazing camera angles and all that.
Brad
kind of
was
stuff.
just talking about that. Yeah.
I saw Robert Brown on
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Flaring
Yeah.
it.
Good one
kind of-
too.
Is that Barry? Or no, that's the new guy.
also a good time for you to determine how comfortable your harness is, Bob. You should be able to relax, let your elbows drop, and let your legs go slack. If you're not zipped up, just leave it unzipped. If you are, in fact, zipped up, I'd suggest you unzip at least your kneecaps. So if you are zipped up, unzip at least to just below your kneecaps. So now you won't have to do anything else with your hands when you come into land. So that's already handled. Now what I want you to do, Bob, is to head directly towards us. You may be able to see us standing around the watering trough and the little streamer down below. And I'm standing here with my radio and my big hat. Now, as you fly, you want to be aware of where your feet are. If you think your glider is turning on its own, it may be that your feet are drifting off to the left or the right, even though the front of your body is centered on the bar. In fact, make a point of keeping the front of your body on the center of the bar and try steering only by moving your feet left or right. Now what you don't want to do is have your upper body on one side of the bar and your feet over on the other side. All you're doing is creating a lot of drag by moving your body sideways through the airflow. So Bob, in a second I'm going to have you do a little stall. So just get your body centered on the keel and level, and you're going to push the bar out very slowly and continue pushing it out until you feel the nose drop. So go ahead and push the bar out and push it out further. And just keep pushing out, and just keep pushing out, push out, keep pushing out, push it out more, push it out, straighten your arms out, push it out, good, keep pushing, good, that was your stall. You feel it pitch down, so you let yourself come back through the bar, come back in this direction, Bob, resume your heading towards us, come back towards us, turn and come back towards us, Bob. Now, as we get closer to the landing approach, there will be, you can change direction and how quickly you can roll back to level to stop at a particular heading. Give me a good loud yell if you're hearing me clearly. All right, good. Very good. So just keep going that way. I'll tell you about where your first turn point should be. We're getting close to it. So pick a point on the ground right there and do a right-hand 180 sharp. Right hand 180 sharp. Turn. Make that puppy turn. Good. Now I want you to try flying a little bit faster. I want you to get accustomed to flying faster and the different turn response. So you hold the bar in and fly kind of fast. And now do a left turn fast. Left turn, turn it, bank it, move the weight over to the left real quick. Good, and then roll out pointing towards that other turn point. Good, and try and keep your speed up, especially as you get closer and closer to the ground. It's real important that you be able to keep your speed up and turn when I tell you. Turn right now. Turn right. Turn right. Well, you're real slow in turning there, Bob. I got to get you turning faster than that. Keep turning. Take your feet out of the harness. As you fly that direction, look to your left and look at the target, and turn left now, turn left now, turn left now, turn. Good, and fly right to me. Fly directly towards me. Keep it in, keep your speed up, keep it in, continue keeping it in, keep it steady, keep it in, Good. Move your hands up to the down tubes and keep it in. Good. Keep it in. Right. Hard right. All right. Good job, Bob. You're down and safe. You made it. Outstanding. You can go ahead and reach down and turn your radio off. Yeah, I'm also a little relieved. Oh, good. He lived. Versus that other song, another one bites the dust. What's that? Lives for another day, yeah. Lives to fly another day. Lots of paragliding these days, yeah. Bob and Alex and then Kevin just started today. Actually, before Alex, I think I hadn't put anybody in the mountains in a hang glider for probably over a year. Not a single person in the mountains. Part of that had to do with the fact that there just simply was a reduction in the number of people signing up, and maybe that's the economy. And then also partly because I've been offering an alternative that I think some people is more attractive. Way to be, Bob.
Oh man, what a rush.
So you can hear me okay, huh?
You were in and out until I got
So you got close.
completely this side of the ridge. It was definitely.
man.
Yeah, that was great.
That was great. Look good.
Thanks.
What a guy, huh?
God, going over West Pole is just like oh.
So I kind of sensed you weren't hearing me very well at the beginning, because I told you at one point I said to do a right 90. Did you hear that?
I heard that way
But then
up top.
yeah, right when you were over West Pole, and then I told you to do a left 360 and nothing
I didn't
happened.
hear that.
Yeah. So that kind of gave me an idea that you weren't hearing me very well, and so I kind of reduced the number of instructions I gave you. And then you heard me telling you about the zigzag and the 4 power poles and the reservoirs.
Right, and then then a few things cut out between there and the ridge.
But generally it looked like the radios worked okay.
Yeah, yeah.
How was the harness?
There was a lot of like extra people cutting in, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like only the most popular radio channel that there is.
Breaker.
So how did the harness feel?
Felt great. You know, it was easy to get in and out. I didn't even zip it up. I could have. Those guys said, yeah, you should do it if you feel pretty comfortable, but I didn't really feel like I needed to, you know?
Yeah.
So I said, I'll hassle with that down the road, you know?
And did you look up at your sail and see your the sail floating off the washout?
Yeah,
tubes?
about like this much.
On both sides?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
good.
pretty,
If the,
it was close.
normally
it
it
was
it would be symmetrical, but even if it wasn't, it doesn't guarantee that there's something wrong. Sometimes the fringe are just slightly off.
Uh-huh.
And
was
how'd you like
definitely-
that? How'd you like that stall?
I was definitely flying
Sideways?
you know, that way a lot, and I found
Yeah.
myself on the bar one time on the other side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Well, once you draw your attention to it, then you can pretty well stop it if you want to.
Stall is fun, you know. You hear all the wind just slow down and stop, and you're going, what's going to go happen next?
Well, you're kind of, I think students, by the reluctance that they show in pushing out, I have to assume that they're either a little reluctant to do it, or not sure if maybe it's already happening.
Mhm.
But it takes quite a bit of push out to actually get it to fall through.
Huh?
In fact, that's just the recovery that you're feeling. The stall is not the recovery. The stall is that angle at which the airflow is disrupted over the wing, and it's disrupted long before it recovers. So the stall is actually happening considerably before you feel it pitch down. So learning to recognize the stall is a lot more than recognizing when it pitches down. In fact, there's no point to recognize that. I mean, when it pitches down, you've recovered. The trick about stalling is to learn to recognize those much more subtle symptoms of when the glider ceases to be easily controllable and long before it pitches down. So there's a lot more to do in stalling to really understand that. So did you relax your grip on the bar?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you drop your elbows when I told you?
Yeah, I was definitely tense at that point, yeah. It's kind of
Pushing
weird.
pushing on the back of the...
I'd let go, and then I'd find myself holding on. I'm like, oh, wait, I gotta let go again.
And then
Just doing that
then
back.
you get tight again.
Yeah, yeah.
How was the launch?
Launch was fun. I, immediately ran real hard all the way through it. Got out, real smoothly. Out, I'd say 50 yards, and then I started easing out on the bar, and I got a good lift.
Was there
Right
much
up.
wind when you launched?
Not too much.
Whack.
It was easy. I mean, it was a lot different than yesterday.
Where did the glider trim? Where was it?
Oh, shoot, it must have been like this. You know,
It wasn't up in front of me, and it wasn't behind my chin. I know that.
Yeah. Just it's not so important that it's a certain way, but that you begin to notice these things and that you kind of make your own observations about it. So if somebody says, "Well, how's your glider trimmed?" Well, you know a couple things. Well, it's trimmed about here. The bar is trimmed about here, but that doesn't tell you speed. That just tells you where the bar is. And then you also know now that the difference between the point where it stalls and pitches down.
Oh, that's out here.
That's way out there. So you got a pretty good range before it actually pitches down. But again, long before it pitches down, you're starting to lose your ability to positively roll the glider. So the next time you fly, one of the things I'll have you do is fly slow, really, really slow, like this, and then roll from right to left, and you'll find that at some point, pushed out, you get it into a bank, and you get all the way to the side, and it just keeps going that way, and that's the stall. That's the more subtle symptom of a stall. And then all you do is just stop pushing out, and then the glider will roll.
All right. Yeah.
How
All right,
about
you made it
now?
out here again. Good to see you. All right, I'm glad you came out.
Is Lane up there?
Yeah.
Is Lane up there? Is he gonna?
Lane is up there. He's probably flying right now.
Right now.
Those guys, you know, Little John and Dave Hofstra, they went right after each other, and they both thermaled up right above launch.
And was that Grain all doing wing overs?
They were both of them were doing wing overs like this over launch.
Yeah.
And there was a guy there taking pictures, and they were in endless lift right above launch. I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. I was like, yeah, I gotta get out there. Lane's like, yeah.
Did you feel much lift right after launch?
Yes.
Yeah, I got quite a bit. Once I, eased out on the bar. I mean, I got hit too by one large portion of lift, and it threw me off to the left. Pretty fairly strongly, and I just pulled it in a bit and turned back, but I missed it. It had gone by me or something.
Well, I don't recommend that you try and chase any lift until you're around the front of West Bowl or over the top.
Yeah.
Because you may see people starting to circle up right in front of launch, and if you try that and you're not well practiced at 360s, which of course you haven't. I think you've done one now. Didn't you do one on this flight? You did a 360 right after the stall. So you want to be well practiced in 360s before you try and do it back in a critical area. And if you get low behind the West Bowl, remember I was saying that if you take a 300-foot lower line, that after a mile or so, you could end up being 1,000 foot lower than the upper line. Then two gliders that are 300 feet apart, after half a mile, they can be 1,000 feet apart. So you can sink a lot faster by taking a lower line.
Right.
And it's some pretty gruesome territory back in there. So you want to make sure you're around the front of West Bowl before you consider chasing any lift. And of course, as long as you're following my instructions, I'll be there to kind of guide you. And if it's practical to have you climb, I'm up for having you climb, like I did that with Alex, and you just circle you around if it looks like you're maintaining. But the classic novice mistake is they see everybody else climbing, and they figure if they just fly enough circles, they're bound to go up. And here the ground's rising up at them, and they're just going, well, it'll happen someday. So, I know you're not stupid, but it's easy to make some mistakes. So if it's soarable, if it's truly soarable and appropriate for you, I'll encourage you to just drive right on up.
Yeah, what I meant was it just knocked me off course to the left extremely, down towards the end of the canyon.
It is okay if you feel some lift to just kind of let the bar out a little and spend a few extra seconds in it and climb. And then as you pass through the lift, you want to just kind of like pick your speed up again and keep on gliding.
Yeah, what a gas.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how long it was?
None.
Probably 20.
My watch is in my pocket. I don't know what I said when I left.
There wasn't much lift after West Bowl at all. Is that typical?
There wasn't much. I'm sorry. There wasn't much lift. What?
After West Bowl. From West Bowl this way.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything. Well, there probably something. Just before that. It was right. Everything you hit was right. That's typical. Yeah, I find it more.
Yeah, my machine works.
Well, I'm going to roll here. I'm going to gather up my stuff and get back and have more fun at the training hill. I'm going to be going. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I'll be back a week from Thursday. I'm going to go to the islands and spend about 10 days paragliding.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm supposed to come in this week and get signed off for my novice.
All right, well, that's no problem.
For a while.
We just need to review that. The test, I think, was the thing, and then it doesn't matter. We can backdate it when I come back. Backdate it. Hi, Anno, deal. How you doing?
Talk to me. I'm pissed off.
pouting.
Yeah, are you pouting?
I got some fucking -3 to 6 all the way down. I'm not kidding, I had my VB on all the way. Didn't catch anything at all. Once I got past the West Bowl there, it's just nothing, went dead.
You know,
I got-
just think of what George Carlin would say about all of that.
Well, if it's philosophy, I don't want to hear about it.
Well, it's kind of like hip New Age comic philosophy, you know. It's like
What is it?
his point of view. I think his point of view is best expressed when he says, you know, just think somewhere out there is the world's worst doctor, and he's got patients.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So somewhere out there at any given point in time is the most unlucky bastard that's gonna fly through
So that's you.
everyone else climbing and sink. So maybe you're just the one that got to be the unlucky one today.
Who's coming down there? That's Jim.
Jim?
Yeah,
Jim Graham, huh?
yeah.
Did he lunch to something you?
No, just before. Well, Jim and then Bob.
Yeah, the big one. Ask you whereabouts.
Well,
That's you over the LD. We got a video
So,
camera here.
I took off and I couldn't see
A little wang would be nice.
anything. I couldn't have cycle all together to start with. This huge thing coming down. I wonder what it looked like from the top. But I just went down. That's it. Down. And then took off and I'm doing up and up. And I thought I was on the West Bowl with the workers. I didn't want to mess it up behind. So I was in the front. I was just, I said, nothing. I didn't hit a thing.
Yeah, hit a little waggle. Maybe that's what it is. Let's try over here. Oh, you're done.
I mean, like,
Local public access.
I did 360. I think I caught this thing again. Just like going down the whole time.
how was your landing?
I should have
Behave for the camera, you know what?
I didn't think you were pretty outstanding. How's yours?
Yeah, it was fine, slightly. That's an interesting landing.
Still potentially interesting.
Keep those cameras rolling.
Yeah. No matter what, you just keep on filming.
Oh no!
He doesn't want to walk. Okay, so you just keep filming. Okay.
Shit. I don't believe this.
Oh, awesome, huh?
Who is this guy?
Wow, it's Jim Graham.
This is wild.
I don't recommend that as a normal
I'm not
landing
going to do that.
procedure. You drive a lot of run out there.
This is incredible. Hey, you can always backstop against the bulldozer.
You can tell I made it. I got him alive.
Bob?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Thanks. How did that launch look? Rebel, thanks.
Yeah, so how was it?
It was awesome, you know, just being above so high and, you know, things going by slowly for a change, you know, you're away from the train and just like, all right, you know, checking out all the large-based rocks, kind of, okay.
That's so cool. That's great. We
So
were
you-
worried too, at first because we were working towards the east and there was a lot of wind coming from the west, but then we went
Yeah, I
to
got
the
bumped.
right.
I got
Yeah,
bumped that
I
way.
saw
so,
that, yeah. But then you corrected it perfect, so it was fine.
Yeah, and then right after that, you saw me.
Yeah. I
So
saw
you got a little
landing
bit
from
out
the
into
air.
the canyon on
Pretty
your
good.
route out to West Bowl.
Yeah, I was kind of heading towards West Bowl, and I was floating a little bit east, and I was like right over the wash, and I get bumped this way, and then
Yeah.
I come on back.
Yeah.
And then I
The initial
floated back over.
route is like straight towards West Bowl and then falling off a few degrees at a time to the left as you see that the point you're gliding towards is actually not dropping away from the horizon.
I immediately, right on launch, I started out level, straight, I mean, more left than I should have been.
Yeah, you were a bit too left, but then you corrected it perfect.
And I was, I was thinking about
But the wind was coming from the west.
going to the bar and getting in and being level, and then I started figuring out where it was.
Yeah.
Started to come back.
Getting your harness really well, no problem, didn't seem to be.
You didn't wobble, huh?
No.
No, it was
What a guy.
nice takeoff and in the air.
Nice.
Cool.
It looked
Cool.
pretty
Well, you
neat,
did
yeah.
really well for your first one. So I guess like 2 weeks from yesterday, we'll do the next one, eh?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay. So are those my wheels?
Yeah, they are.
All right. Well, why don't you just hang on to them? I always lose track of where my gear is. Sometimes.
Okay.
I'd like to know.
Okay. You got the radio back, yeah.
Yep. And I'm gonna head out. Congratulations. You want a sip of Hansen's?
Sure.
Or should I pour it over your head?
That might come up later.
Baptized.
You want the rest?
Sure, I'll take it. Thanks.
Did you fly over West Pole?
I know it's not as exciting and glamorous.
Yeah,
as
not real
champagne.
close. You was telling me to fly closer. Like,
You weren't all that eager to get any closer. It's pretty intimidating formations up there, huh?
yeah, but I didn't know how high I was. I couldn't tell, am I really close or am I not really close?
Right. Well, that's okay. Then you made the right decision. I mean, if because you couldn't tell you stayed away, that's an appropriate reason. And better than getting too low.
Struggling now, yeah, they're struggling now down there.
Comfortably. Way to be, man. I'd rip your shirt off for ceremony, but it looks like it's already been ripped.
Yeah, got it from Kauai after the hurricane.
I should have taken off.
Okay, I'm gonna head back to the
I should
training
have
hill.
stayed over there between.
All right. Let's see this in the heat.
You know, just.
There was 2 guys, Jaime and Roberto.
And there's a
from
difference
Colombia.
between going through the lift and not working on it.
Oh, those guys.
Not finding
Those
it.
guys. One guy looks like Raul Julia. You know who Raul Julia is? The guy that was in the Addams Family
Kidding.
in the movie.
Which guy?
Romero. Is it the movie Romero?
The Bachelor guy.
Milagro Beanfield War.
Or yeah, if you saw the Addams Family. Well, maybe I don't know. It's the same.
That's one of the guys from Washington.
You know who Raul Julia is? The actor, the guy in the Addams Family, just the movie The Addams Family. Like to see it? The guy who's like the patriarch, the good-looking Latin guy, 45 years old. No, that's the guy I'm thinking of. The one guy from Colombia. They're actually from Washington/Columbia, originally from Columbia, right? Does that sound like them?
Washington, yeah, Jaime and
Yeah.
somebody else.
George. The one guy, I think, just like Raul Julia. Anyway.
All right, good to see you out here.
See you in a couple weeks.
Bet.
I'll be back for, if you want to fly 2 weeks from yesterday.
Right. ASAP. We'll be barbecuing over at my house if you want to stop by.
We're going to go out for dinner. So thanks. That's fine. Gary, I'll see you back at the hill.
Might have put another barbecue good and then a bit of party tonight.
Oh, it's so tough.
What time's it? After it or?
After all these guys get down.
Hey! Go! Come on down! Now! Hey, do you see my 360?
I caught a wink about kind of on the hill coming out. And I kind of winked at my plane. I kind of had to run it out and I ran like this. I said that.
You didn't crash it.
I didn't laugh. Look at this.
What was that?
Touch and go, Touch and go! Oh man, these guys are showboating up there like crazy. They're flying above us, having a ball. Really spectacular.
What do you think, Bob?
Great.
Roll camera.
Get me up there again.
Oh, too much fun. You're in a deal?
I got some single.
Whoops, sorry.
Not until I got back on course, you know, after I corrected. And I started looking up.
Nice. Yeah.
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 Yeah, the clouds out there look like a big cotton bed. You see the mountains of the islands out there.
It was beautiful. That's good to see what you expect.
Yeah. Actually, there was quite a bit of lift to be had.
Yeah, between West Pool and the launch. Yeah. Yeah, well, did you stay with us for a while?
Is this home video or something other than?
KCTV.
All right.
What is it?
KCTV.
Hi, Mom.
Good stuff.
Great. I'm a star. It was a fun flight.
Ready for a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got here. Everybody's launched with the guy from Seattle, and I got Jim's truck, and I'm coming on down.
So when are we going to be on TV then?
Well, I'll go into post-production in about 2 weeks. That should probably take about 2 months, so maybe 2.5 months. And we'll be sure to get your stuff on there.
All right.
So.
Hey, what a
Great.
star.
It's a great sport. We like the publicity. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, it's a wonderful sport. And I'm surprised more people don't do it.
More women.
More women should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no reason for that. Not for it to be that way. But yeah, unlike a lot of other sports, people are really supportive and really encourage people along. I mean, people surfing, you know, they all have their secret spots, and they won't let anybody go out there.
Oi.
But
Careful there. Careful there. You've got
That's
some
true.
surfers around.
I know. But I got nothing against surfing, but I mean, I'm just contrary to that. Hang gliding is the whole everyone involved.
Especially Lane, you're like the mother bird. You know,
No.
He gets out of mess for the first flight usually, and Ken lands them. So.
Can't take credit for that, but yeah, it's really neat. I've been amazed at the support of the general hang gliding population. Just everybody tries to encourage everybody else along, and the more the merrier. So it's neat.
All right.
Sweat drooling from my face.
Back up. How's your launch?
Good. A little bit crosswind when I launch. Yours too. Got a pretty strong west component when you're launching.
Yeah, I started heading out to the left there.
Yeah,
I
you went
didn't know-
prone right away, and
I didn't know where I was going, you know, until I was in the bag and prone and had my hands down on the crossbar, you know. Then I started going, hey, I'm a little off course here.
No, but you corrected it really well. You just went back towards West Bowl and told him.
so you're comfortable prone and all.
It's so much more comfortable.
Isn't it nice?
Standing.
It's like Superman, isn't it?
How you doing,
Yeah,
Joe and
isn't
Jan?
Or Wonder Woman.
Flying through the air.
Yeah,
it's
we
like
came
looking
here to
around.
watch Bob. Finally got to see him come down.
Pretty pumped, guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's pumped.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's great.
I should be shutting up and listening to what you have to say. Let's hear it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's hear the Rinse Instant Replay, guy.
Is that Dave?
Yeah, I was jazzed. Coming in, yeah.
Good.
Easy landing on the bump.
Get in here.
This guy's hot.
Go. 3 second delay.
He's one of the best locals.
Or did he just turn?
I just
Dave, isn't it?
Infrared remote.
Yeah, Hofstadter.
Wow.
Hey, he's flying in the sun there.
Just the wing overs, Dave.
I actually had a problem. I counterweighted the left side to counterweight my camera with just a 2-pound dive weight, but it's way too heavy, and I was fighting this left turn the whole time. It wasn't good.
Hey, what did you find on the way down? Did you get any lift at all?
A little bit, but I was having such a hard time with the turn.
God.
Dave, do any wing overs?
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed them.
this one.
I love this
Tail,
glider.
Yeah, isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
So Ken took off after the training hill?
Yeah. He's got a.
Or is that him over there?
Red shirt.
Nose angle.
Nice approach.
Come on in, Dave.
Yeah!
Perfect.
Very nice.
Mike, how was it?
Day.
Dave Sky's out above launch.
Alright.
Keep on lift after
Hi,
Westport.
Mom. No, actually, Mom, you don't want to watch this.
Yeah. Did you find any lift after Westport?
I did tell my mom I was going flying today.
I told you you were going shopping.
Well, Bob, great flying. That was amazing, dude. You liked it, huh?
Circling right up above us, doing the wing overs, Little John, and
I don't want to hear about my flight. I want to hear about your flight.
mine wasn't as exciting as that.
I bet it was to you.
Yeah,
I saw
no,
you
it was
making some
exciting. I had a
passes
good
on
time.
West Pole.
It was pretty amazing coming over the peak of West Pole and looking down.
Great view, isn't it?
Yeah, excellent view. You know, I didn't
He's
really
shaking
look
a little bit. That's great.
I didn't look
Maybe
around at
that's me
all.
shaking.
I didn't look around at all until I was situated where I was going, and then I started looking. I'm going, whoa, you know, looking at the clouds, you know, over the ocean, go way down the coast this way and way up the coast that way, and spine of the mountain, ocean, peeking through down at the university.
So many times when I get up there, I just say, what a sport! This is just incredible. It really is. There's been numerous times on the radio where I've thanked everybody that ever encouraged me anywhere along the lines. You know, it's just like outrageous.
Yeah.
Good
So
day.
you're finding a lot of lift right there at launch. Is that all ridge lift, or is that all?
That was the only place I found any consistent lift. It was right
Did
at
that
the
shut down too, or did you?
It had shut down a little
yeah.
bit. It was actually it was on and off.
How many hours of tape have you shot?
About 7.
Really, that's all.
Yeah.
lazy. It's just too easy to use the wind to move the canopy. But when the wind stops, I just feel like waiting. going to inflate, so you need to step back just a little bit, Gary. Okay, so brakes off. Step back. Brake. Walk towards it. Good. All right, so we're not done yet. Brakes off. Step backwards quickly. Brake. Okay, so I'll stall that for you. So, Kevin, I'm going to have you fly in just a minute as soon as this load of people are out of the way. Okay, one more time. Step back. Brake. And walk towards it. Walk towards it. The evidence of walking towards it is if it doesn't fall over on its face. You need to walk towards it so that it always falls back. How about right? Yeah, you got to be a little more decisive. But that's pretty normal. It's hard to always can. Okay? Yeah. Now reach up and take your fronts. And make sure you're in the center of the canopy. And you see that side's already inflating before that side. That's a good indication that these lines are tighter than those lines. So center yourself on the line so that you have equal line tension. You're standing on the line. Back off the line. So make sure the lines are equal tension. They are not equal tension. Do what it takes to have equal tension. Okay, Pooch. Okay, that's looking a lot better. Okay, you can step backwards quickly. Good. Now let go of the fronts and brake, a little brake, and step backwards. Step backwards. Step backwards. Good. Very good. Step right and brake left. Yeah. Okay.
I'm
now,
not stepping right at fast enough. Is that it?
You gotta try and go faster to the right than it's going to the right. See, here's how it works. Here's the canopy, and here's all of your lines represented by the two fingers. Anytime the canopy is over like this, if you stay, walk towards the canopy. If you stay in this position in relationship to the canopy, it's shortening these lines and lengthening these lines and sustaining the canopy in a banked position. Yeah. And the only way to beat it is to come back like that. So you got to go far enough over that way to where the lines become equal with respect to the width. Okay, so now you have to organize it again. So holding nothing but the brakes. Brakes off. Brakes forward, in other words. Step back very sharply. And add a little bit of brake. And walk towards it. Good. Now reach up and take your fronts. As the canopy comes up, be prepared to step in the same direction as the canopy and use opposite brake. Okay? So step back sharply. Good. Now let go of the front. Step backwards and brake a little. Brake and step to your right. Step to your right. Brake some more. Good. You're doing fine. That's great. Let up a little. Step to your left. Brake right. Brake right. Step left. Step left. Brake right. Brake right. Good. Very good. It's working. Let up. Let up. Okay, and brake left and let it fall. That was excellent. So now you're starting to move faster left and right. And now what's happening is now you've gone from under control to over control. Well, that's great. So, in photography, they do something called bracketing. You know what that is? Where you take one f-stop over and one f-stop under. Well, we've got it bracketed now. It's somewhere in between what you were doing before and what you just did. So I'm going to have this guy fly, and since I don't want you right in the path, just let everything go. And just leave the harness on. I'm just going to unbuckle you and have you step away and over by the chairs while I coach him through a fly. Maybe a little breather, and then we'll park her a little bit to the left of it as you look at it.
Clint! Clint!
What's his name? Clint. Clint! Here, Clint! Come here! Come on, Clint! Come, Clint!
Good puppy!
Okay, pick it up. A little more breeze than earlier today. Hold it steady, hold it real still. Raise the nose just a couple of degrees. Put your left wing down. Raise the nose a little bit more. A little higher, yeah, right there. Hold it steady. Left wing down a little. Watch the beach park and keep it level as you run.
Come, puppy.
And
Come.
you can run. Good. Keep running. Keep running. Hold still. Pull in just a little. Just a little. Small inputs, 1 inch. Come left a little. Good. Out just a little. Right. Center. Center. Left. Left. Out. 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 Flare hard. Flare! Okay, so you want to make sure you don't mistake the command of out, which calls for a 1 inch push out, with the command of flare. As you near the ground, it's common for people to mistake that. You must not flare unless I say flare. So take it back up and take a rest.
The other thing is, this thing, I just never noticed this before, but it just floats through you, right?
Right.
Okay, and the wires are fine, so everything looks.
You put all your battens in, with the exception of the last 2 or 3. Basically,
Well, no, I even put those in before I stressed it.
that's okay.
Okay.
However, there's something you've missed here. See this wire? That would put a substantial turn in your glider.
Oh, you know, it did that on the other side, and I corrected it. Looks like this one was. The other one was like that.
It's so subtle, it's easy to miss.
Right.
Very easy.
But these wires are right.
Outside, the 2 on the outside. Outside versus in here, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's pretty clear because this little wire here is clearly on top of this.
But what I meant was this on the outside of the inner wire.
Oh no, wouldn't make a hell of a difference.
Maybe that's
This
why.
wire should be.
That's why I was hanging up.
That's the way it's supposed to look. See the difference? See, you had it before, you had it like this. Okay, so you're not clear what it looks like. Disconnect that ring, invert the ring underneath the ring. Familiar with what it looks like when it fits that. So the preferred procedure, first of all, you put curved battens into your sail, or pull them out and the sail is taut. It's harder on the batten and on the pocket than if the sail is loose. Now normally it used to be that we put all the curved battens in and took them out only when the crossbar is released, right, loose. But then when we started seeing how the tips got damaged, we said, well, it looks like it's okay to pull these 2 out and this one in and out when the sail is tight. So that way you can keep that bag on and start it a little cleaner.
Like you did, but I just stressed it before I put those lines.
Yeah, actually, I think in the manual they say to leave all of these out until after you've done the crossbar. And conversely, take them.
It's beautiful watching everybody coming down, you know. Just,
You look good when you were doing the reverse inflation. That part all comes easy.
you guys all look
It's-
so smooth coming down.
No,
all that.
it's not. It's work. But once you get up there, it's great.
Okay. Thank you.
Good, you're right. More than one, but more than part of now, because the weight involved. They have a little loop here because the president of the company was pulling up one time and slipped and punched himself in the nose and hurt his nose. So then he ordered the furnace department to put a little loop on it so he wouldn't blast his nose anymore. It's got to stop. Right?
Yeah.
And then additionally we have one ring that independently connects your bridle with your mains, so even if this was to fail, which is probably pretty unlikely, you've got some connection. Okay. Although we've got this ring is probably small for that job, but it's kind of triple redundancy there. Okay, so once you hook in and we'll do a hang check. And then I'm gonna over here and have Bob. But that's the way these harnesses are. They use you as a compression member to stretch the harness out. use your little angle adjust gizmo and raise your angle by just pull the line through about 2 inches. That's good. Now, can you glance back and see roughly how many inches there is between your parachute and the base tube?
Oh yeah. I got 3.
Perfect. Yeah, what nice gear. Always looks so neat when it's brand new.
You're really never like this, right? You've always dropped down.
You can be if you want.
But you usually would have dropped down before you.
If you're coming into land, you should have your feet out of the harness. I mean, when you're on final, you should have your feet out of the harness. And when you fly here, you're going to keep your feet out of the harness.
Now,
it's not wrong for you to put your hands on the base tube when you fly off the top here.
Yeah.
And kind of get half prone, but I don't recommend stepping into the harness.
Now to tighten this baby, Ken, there's 2 straps to zip it.
Yeah, that one zips up in your right hand. Go ahead and zip up. Stretch, here, listen. Keep it in your right hand.
Yeah.
And with your right hand, push forward and off to your left. Forward and off to your left. It may be jammed. Unzip it and make sure your shoestrings aren't catching. You got shoestrings?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure they're not caught. Grab your unzip.
You know what's catches? There's some rope that's caught. Yeah, the second rope's caught here. Look,
okay,
can you see underneath? Look
don't
underneath.
Jam it. There you go. Okay.
What was that?
All right, take your unzip string.
Yeah.
And pull that. Okay, now restow your unzip toggle. Now all the string is up there by your hand, isn't it?
Yeah.
You got to do that before you take off each time. And now zip and move your right hand to your left. Continue holding on with your left hand.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You know, I wonder if I'm gonna have reduced flexibility because the shoulder.
You can do it. You can do it.
Well, I got that busted shoulder on the right. I don't know.
I bet you can do it.
Okay.
I'm not much for physical limitations. I mean, everybody's got some physical limitations, and everybody can do this. None of this stuff is that demanding of perfect human specimens.
Plus
okay, so
it wouldn't be the end of the world to fly with your zip.
Steve, I'm going to have you go before Kevin. So you're going to get in front of Kevin.
What's that?
You're going to go before Kevin, so just go right into position and downhill at Kevin. How far back can you put the hands? Can you go like that? Okay. The more they're back, the less wrenching it's going to be on your shoulders. If you have your hands, you start pulling like this, it's going to pull your arms back. It's going to be hard on your arms and shoulders. Okay? So square your body directly at me. Take a step backward. Yeah. So when I tell you, what you're going to do is you're going to and Marie pulling at this point. Well, it's a mechanism for coming down more steeply, so it's glide path control, and it's also... Steve, you should come back down a ways. Walk down some, you're a little high. What I tell you, you're going to have your hands back, and you're going to run sharply at me. The canopy will inflate and bring you absolutely to a stop, and may even pull you backwards a little bit. So just really lean into it, and the canopy will then rise over your head, and we're going to run along with it. Okay? So ready? Hands back, and run sharply at me. Keep leaning this way. Just walk this way. Keep walking. Good. You're doing great. You're doing great. Good. Just keep coming this way. Don't ever lose your balance. You got to keep